I think Alabama was somebody that you and I had talked about that was not in our top 10 going into the 2025 season. Number one, why? And number two, how do you see them right now in January of the 2025 season?
I think that like the out of any of these teams that are still going to get love as a top 25 team coming into the year, Alabama is the one that I think has the most uncertainty. I'm not going to sit here and grandstand and say Alabama's screwed. They're going to be below 500 or they're going to be 7-5. I'm not going to go that far because Kalen DeBoer is a good coach and he is trying to build this thing in his direction. And he's had a lot of defections, a lot of kids that didn't want to stick around for it because they wanted to play for Saban. They didn't sign up to play for Kalen DeBoer. But if we take a look at, like, here are some of the important guys that they're losing. They're losing Tyler Booker, their best offensive lineman. They're losing Jahad Campbell, who is going to be a first-round linebacker. Jalen Milroe, starting quarterback, and Malachi Moore, who was
which could be a plus if we're being honest that they're losing him.
Sure. I think where I have the most uncertainty is, one, what does their offensive line look like next year? Two, is their defense going to take a step forward, or is it going to continue to be a mess? And then three, who the hell starts a quarterback? Is it Ty Simpson? Is it Austin Mack? I'm going to keep pushing. I think Keelan Russell should be in the mix as well. I don't think it would hurt them to consider.
He just got hurt. I don't know if that's.
Never mind.
I don't know how logical that is.
Never mind. Forgot about that. Never mind. Ty Simpson, Austin Mack.
But he definitely could. We don't know how bad the injury is, but I mean, he definitely could. To your point, but I'm just saying. Go ahead.
No, that was it. The uncertainty at quarterback, I think, is probably the biggest part because Kalen DeBoer's success is ridden off of massive quarterback play, even for the big games that they had at Alabama. What does he get in 2025 to drive this?
It certainly comes off of throwing the football. And Joe, I mean, he tried to make Jaden Milroe more than what he is as a passer. I mean, it's just what he did. I think that you're right on clearly on quarterback. Where do they go? Is it Ty Simpson's time? Can Ty Simpson be what I don't want to say what he's looking for, but can he be an overall better fit in this offense? I do not know. I legitimately don't know, but I do think it's going to be interesting to see the shot being taken by either Austin Mack or Ty Simpson here. There is something that I 100% agree with you on too, and that's the offensive line, but specifically the running game. Right? Like, Joe, they had that offensive line last year. They had all those talented guys last year, and they couldn't run the football when they needed to. I mean, Joe, quite frankly, they got bullied in moments. Now, they didn't get bullied when they played LSU, but, brother, you went up to Norman, Oklahoma with a team that literally could not throw the football. Literally could not throw it. And you got your ass whipped. Now, I think that Kalen DeBoer is not being judged fairly based off of what he literally just took over. We're expecting him to do great things at Alabama immediately. But there also comes a part where, Joe, I think from a coaching staff perspective, I think play calling has got to be better, especially defensively. I think that this is much more than talent here too. We did not criticize Saban's staffs. We didn't. But quite frankly, Joe, they got out-coached, they got out-schemed, they got out-physicaled in a lot of these games. And I don't know where you've gotten better there. Now, I still think Kalen DeBoer is a really good coach. My prediction for Alabama, if you remember in the preseason a year ago, was them going 9-3. There are some things in this conference. Oh, Blake, what about this year? Joe, what did all of the teams in the SEC have struggles with? Couldn't run the ball. Whether it be Ole Miss, whether it be Georgia, whether it be Alabama. And that's a massive reason why they took a step back. Joe, why did Tennessee finally break that hump and get to a playoff? They had the best player in the SEC in Dylan Sampson, and they ran the football. I think that these teams that we're going to talk about, but Bama specifically, look, play calling has got to take a next step, but, man, they got to find a way to run the football too.
Running the ball, I think, is definitely a really good point, and departures this offseason, I think, are something that should be a concern. And we know that they've got a couple of guys up and coming that could be quality players, but losing Tyler Booker is a problem. It needs to be identified as an issue. I really like Parker Brailsford. I think that he can be a really good center, and he showed some strong things as he was adding a ton more weight. And we know Caden Proctor can be the best tackle in the SEC. I think he needs to lose a little bit of weight. That's a separate conversation for a
Can I
whole
ask
different
a question?
issue. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? You do a lot of draft stuff. Is he?
What, a little too heavy or a little too?
No. One of the best tackles in the country? Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't looked at the 2026 class yet. I don't think that he is yet.
So the last game
he
we
needs
saw,
to lose weight. That's my whole point. He's too top heavy right now. That's a big problem for him.
He is a guard. I'm sorry. He is a guard.
I don't disagree with that.
I mean, brother, he is getting the last game we saw them, their O-line, everybody wanted to point at Jalen Milroe, right? It was Milroe's fault. The O-line got dominated.
I think you brought up one big part with this. Kalen DeBoer's a great coach. I don't think his coordinators were very good last year. And that was the thing that we spent a lot of time in the offseason like showing concern for. I think that the biggest thing that held them back, Blake, was the fact that they did not have premier assistant coaches. And I don't know if they're like just moving forward with it. Bringing back Ryan Grubb, which has not been announced. He was recently fired as the Seahawks offensive coordinator. I don't know how you're not trying to bring him back. I don't know how that hasn't been announced yet. I would hope that the phone would have been picked up and that coaching staff and Kalen DeBoer would be smart enough to realize, you know what, we need to recapture this. I forget exactly if Kalen DeBoer what his role was with calling plays, but I would like for Ryan Grubb to retake that role.
I don't disagree with that whatsoever. I mean, play calling was an issue, running the ball was an issue, but Joe, there are a lot of things that Bama has got to clean up. They got to clean up penalties. They got to clean up the physicality, and I don't know how you really clean up physicality. Either you have it or you're not. But Joe, let's just be frank for a minute. Name the last time that you saw games where Alabama legitimately got pushed around the way that they did. That, like, you can say
the Michigan game is the best descriptor.
I mean, well, it's not only that. They got pushed around by a physical D-line in Oklahoma. They got pushed around against Tennessee in the second half. I mean, look, you had a very banged-up offensive line going into Knoxville that pushed you around in the second half. Dylan Sampson goes off. Like, it's just the nature of the beast. You do clip Georgia, the SEC champion. That's a big win at home. They literally scored 30 points in the second half on your ass. If it's not for Ryan Williams being special, that might not happen. So, again, there comes a point in time where you got to get back to the basics in some of these instances. I'll admit this for Kalen DeBoer. He was inherited with a big problem under Nick with these penalties and the undisciplined play. That's not on him. At some point, they got to get some leadership. Maybe they'll find it. I agree with you on Grubb, by the way. Why did he get fired in Seattle? I'm not.
Their offense was really shaky, but
was he shaky or was Geno Smith shaky?
Geno Smith was shaky, and that's something that's I don't know. It seems like